Hey everyone, welcome to a new episode of the Red Devils Corner Kick podcast, a podcast dedicated to Manchester United. I hope everyone has been enjoying their weekend. It is a very early or very late recording of the podcast. It's a very early Sunday morning here in Canada. Getting the preview done. Did get a chance to record it earlier. Had a busy day with yard work, just catching up on that. But it's a very early Sunday morning with the recording. So with the preview today, just catch up on a few other things as well, like I promised in the previous episode. But yeah, before we begin, don't forget to hit subscribe, whether you're following on YouTube, Spotify, or Apple Podcast. Also, don't forget to follow, whether it's on Instagram, TikTok, as well as X as well, or Twitter, whichever you like to refer to as. But it's another game in the Premier League for Manchester United. We're playing West Ham. And listen, we just came off of winning the semis, the second leg. And that was a brilliant game. And if you want to listen to the previous episode, go ahead. But here we are. We're at this moment here where it's hard to predict what the squad is going to be, especially with the way the schedule is going to be leading up to that Europa League final. We have West Ham tomorrow morning, or actually technically today, 9:15 where I am, around 2 o'clock in England. So my apologies. It's going to be an interesting match because it's hard to predict what the squad is going to be. A lot of youth could be called into. A lot of our usual substitutes should be starting. Who should be starting? We have to take a look at that. So that's what I'll be talking about first. So right now, that's what I'm going to look at. Let's look at the preview here. Listen, the last time, we've kind of come full circle now. The last time when we played West Ham, we saw an error of a penalty given due to an incorrect call. I believe it was Michael Oliver, who I believe he was the ref at that time, given an incorrect call or handball, which led to a penalty, which led to a loss, which also led to Ten Hag being sacked, which now brought in Ruben Amorim, who took over when we had Ruud as the interim. So the last time we played was when it started, the change in the guard, the beginning of Ruben Amorim's start at Manchester United. That's how it all went. Listen, we know how the start of the season went, and we know everything how it led on to last season, but here we are now, you can say kind of full circle. Maybe I don't know if that should be the reference, but listen, we're back to where it began, where now we're in this situation. It's the truth. This is where it started. Ten Hag got sacked, Ruud interim, then Ruben came in, and here we are today. So we're back at it. And listen, West Ham hasn't had a good season. We definitely have not had a good season. So it's a matter of what tomorrow is going to bring. Is it a win? Is it a draw? It's what are we expecting here? I'm expecting rotation. I'm expecting a little bit similar to what we had against Brentford last week. I'm just going to pull up the Brentford lineup from last week. Just because I think that's the important thing right there, just to look at it. And I think that's what's going to be similar too. I do have my lineup already set. The question is what do I think it's going to be today? I know, but let me just take a look at the lineups here. All right, sorry, that was Brentford. So we have Manchester United. We had Obi, Garnacho, Mount as our attack. Amos, Manu, Ugarte, Dorgu as our mids. Shaw, De Ligt, and Fredrickson in our back, and Baynder starting. I'm going to have something a little different this time. in essence of playing time and players, my squad is going to be, I'm going to have Onana start because you just want to make sure he keeps fresh, especially with playing Chelsea next week and like the time in between games. You want to make sure that he's fresh and still continuing. Fredrickson, Lindelof, Shaw as my back three. Maguire needs his rest. De Ligt won't be back until the final. Delo, we don't know. So right now we are kind of thin in the back. But I think Shaw, Lindelof, Fredrickson are going to be the back three, similar to, or almost similar to last week. Our middle, I'm having a Mod start because I think he deserves a little bit of a start for how well he's played. Ugarte, Mainu in the middle. Harry Amos gets to start on the wing. Dorgu gets a rest, but you'll see the minutes there. You'll see Maguire in. You'll see Euro in. I don't think you'll see Mazraoui in. You might see him a little bit for Chelsea. But I think that's what's there. I'm hoping that Aiden Heaven could potentially be in today, but I don't think he's still healthy yet. Same with Toby Collier. So that's what my middle four is going to look like. I'm going to give Garnacho not the start. Nothing against him. He'll come on too. But I think Eriksen should be getting some minutes. Mount, I believe he deserves a start. He got his start last week. And then you have Cheeto will be starting again for his second start for Manchester United. So, listen, it's rotation. Listen, next week I think you'll see more of a heavier lineup with Chelsea. Just because, again, we have the game on the Wednesday. They're playing on that Friday, so you want to give them some time, give them some rest, and then you want to get them some minutes next week, get them fresh, ready to go to play that Wednesday against Tottenham. And Tottenham is in the same situation as us. They will be playing next Friday as well due to the change. Now, please remember, I think the change was going to happen no matter what to the Friday. Our schedule did get changed because we are a week away from the Women's FA Cup final, which is what Chelsea and Man United for our women's team. So we have that going on. Make sure to watch that next Sunday. So I think that's there. I think it's just going to be it's a battle of two of the bottom half squads close to relegation. Not regulation, relegation. So we will see. Is it going to be different than the last time? Hard to say. Our squad will definitely be different than the last time. Hopefully things go a lot better, and I hope we don't get another blown call where it shouldn't have been a penalty and it should have been a draw. So that's basically it. Listen, I'm hoping for a win. I hope with the carryover from Thursday carries over today. And like those that are playing, getting their opportunities, get that rotation in and get those opportunities. Amos, Obi, Fredrickson have been great. It would be nice to see if Aiden Heaven could potentially be back. So we'll wait and see on that. But Ugarte got taken off. Mainu was a rotation on. Eriksen, again, hasn't seen any minutes. Mount, who had a tremendous 20 minutes on Thursday. I think he definitely deserves that start too, get him motivated. So that's what we're looking at here. And yeah, it's the reason why for rotation, because of Thursday, you want to keep everyone healthy. You want to keep most of your starters healthy. So you want to see Casemiro play. You may see Casemiro for a couple minutes next Friday just to give him the legs. This is more of a rotation thing today. And then next Friday, you'll see more of our starters in. So it's just building up and just making sure everyone's healthy for that final. So you may see more youth going through. So I'm hoping, I'm optimistic for the game. So we'll see how it plays out for tomorrow. But yeah, that's basically it for the preview for West Ham. Again, the last time we played, that's how everything started. The change, it's now we've come full circle. Now we're back with the new man. We're here with Ruben now, not Ten Hag. It was the end of Ten Hag there, and here we are now in the Ruben era. So again, that we all felt that penalty, especially when when we found out that was a retraction that later that week, that it was the wrong call. You robbed us of points, to say the least. You robbed us of a point. So, and the manager got sacked. I'm not saying that game tie would have saved it. He could have been sacked because of the tie, but obviously the start of the season wasn't the best. But here we are, seeing, you know, what changes have come from that day. Here we are. If it wasn't for that game, were we seeing Ruben here? So, but we're at this moment. But yeah, like I said, it's kind of been coming full circle. But let's move on to other things to catch up on as well. I need to talk about some transfer windows or transfer targets. Sorry, because we are not too far away from the summer transfer. The season's only a couple of weeks away, and there's more and more talks about certain players, certain targets, money, and that's the big thing too as well. Also going to make a little comment about ex-players and pundits, and talking about Manchester United as well, and something that I read today about Sir Jim and tickets and all this stuff. So I don't know if I'm going to do for another rant. I may have had enough for the last little bit, but you know what? It wouldn't be a Manchester United podcast with a little bit of a rant, right? To give our opinion, but let's talk about transfer windows. Okay, so I've just been catching up on news from Manchester Evening News about potential targets. There's something here that came out from Team Talk. I saw that here. There's talks of Højlund and Antony both being sold or signed to Juventus. From what I'm seeing here, I'm just looking at So Juventus is looking potentially could offer a double swap, or potentially a swap with Højlund for. There's talks here of Douglas Luiz and a swap deal for Højlund. There's also mentioned here is that they could be looking to get Antony as well. Antony, who's been having a great time at Real Betis, I think out of all the transfers that went out there, he has been the one that's been fantastic, and Betis is going to do whatever they could to get him. But they're looking at a loan. Why not buy if you can? But yeah, something that came out from Team Talk that I saw that Højlund and Antony are on the radar for Juve, so they're going to potentially try and get both of them from Manchester United. Which listen, we spent a lot of money on both of them. If we can get something back, yeah. So what we're seeing here, Juve reports claims that United want 50 million euros, 43 million pounds for Antony. And another rumor came out and saying that it could be another 20 to 30 million this summer. But Juve usually does have the money. So if they can get them and Højlund, like I don't want to lose Højlund. I did like Anthony. Anthony, he was good. I liked certain things, but I guess things just didn't work out for him here in the Premier League. So if the financials are there, we can use it. That would be great. It would definitely help, especially with the race for Gyökeres. I know Cunha and Delap are 1 and 2. And the funds have already been spent there, so the money that they were going to spend is going to be going to those two potentially. But there's other targets as well, and Bueo that could be coming too. And I know there's been talks about Arsenal going in for Cunha. There's been rumors of Newcastle going for Cunha, but we know that he wants to come to Manchester United. But I know second options are Semenyo from Bournemouth and Buemo from Brentford, who's had an incredible season. Had another assist today, but he could be potentially. He's around the same age as Cunha, but he also is a little cheaper than Cunha, so that's also an option too. That would help in an improve on attack. Either or, having one or the other or both would help our attack improve tremendously. Even Semenyo would be an incredible boost too, but we'll see how that goes. There's also rumors of United looking to bid on Newcastle player. From what I saw here, I was just looking that up. Let me just see here. We were just looking at, I just had the article up. Manchester United looking to potentially go for Sandro Tonali from Newcastle. So there's potential there, but the price I saw here was 85 million pounds for him, which is about just over 100 million euros for him. So I that's a lot of money, considering that we're going to be spending that on two players. And I know you can pay that off over X amount of years, but let's be honest here. Like, and I know there's some red flags that came with him too. So do you really want that in the locker room with what happened with him? But he, again, 85 million pounds is a lot. It is, and this club shouldn't be spending that much. I know they want to get younger, but I know they want to be better with the money as well. So right now it's about getting the right players in, spending the right amount of money, not overspending. We have to be smart with it. I know we're going on youth, but 85 pounds alone for one player for a midfielder, no. I'm saying no to that. Who could potentially be a replacement for, others, but no, I'm not spending that. That's not on my. Tonley is a talented midfielder, but no, it's a no for me. It's a very big no for me, just because of the price tag. You can go other places. There could be potential swap deals, like I mentioned with the UV. We can look at the free transfer market as well. I know Angel Gomez is still on our radar. I know we got to build depth for Casemiro, Ugarte, also with Bruno, and having Manu is there, but he's still developing it to get into the right position, getting the right pieces in. We need more wing backs. We need more depth at center backs. We need everything. I don't think we're going to get a goalie, even though I know we were tied to the Serbian goalie this week, who could be at affordable cost as well. So we'll see. It's so hard to say. Like I mentioned, what was it, 4 or 5 episodes ago, until I see that press conference of where they're being sold, or where now they're officially been sold and they're signing that deal and they're ready to be there and go on the tours and blah 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 and all that crap. That's basically it. Like, it's hard to believe. So, and sometimes the recruitment just takes their time too. But we'll see. I know, especially with the transfer windows that opens up literally right after the Champions League up until the 10th, right before the FIBA Club World Cup, you're going to see funds spent there, and we may sell some players then that may need it. Like I said, the FIBA Club World Cup could be looking for talent. If we can offload Sancho, Rashford, and Antony and get some very decent money for them, that helps us in the book. I know Eriksson, Lindelof are going to be off the books. If we potentially get Champions League, that's 100, I believe, about 100 million pounds, or like just over 100 million euros in the books for Manchester United. So that would be great as well. And I know there's the rumors of Bruno where there's talks of like 125 million just for him for the transfer window. And I don't want Bruno to go. He's our captain. I hope he stays. But I'm not in charge of the club. I'm not. So, like, if you can get, let's say, somewhere around 75 million, close to 100 million for Sancho, Antony, and Rashford, that would be great. It really would. And then plus, if we get anything from Europa for winning it, again, it's an if for Europa. There's nothing guaranteed. The ball hasn't been kicked, so I'll be doing that preview beforehand, like always. But realistically, we don't know. It's so hard to say. And I think everything's just relying on Europa. I think Cunha and Delap are already in the budget and there. I think they're going to look at the free transfer window. I think looking at Angel Gomez is big for the free transfer if not going to call us. I think there's one player they're looking at is Ta, because I believe he would be a free transfer as well. So we'll see. I know they're going to try and go for Gyökeres. I know Ruben's going to want players that he has that fit his system and know how he wants to play. That's going to be there. So listen, it's all over the map realistically. And tomorrow is going to, I guarantee it, today or tomorrow, we're going to find out that all the deals have been canceled and they're not going to work out and they're going to go in another direction. So it's so hit and miss sometimes with these transfer windows. But listen, Gyökeres would be great. Cunha, Mbeo, Sameo. Mbeo and Sameo would be great too. The Lap would be good as well if we kept the Lap and also go with Højlund too. I don't want to lose Højlund. I think he's young. I think he has a lot to learn. And when you get that full season of, like holding up the ball, be able to do the transition, move it forward, like that would be great as well. And listen, our attack would be fine. We have those depth pieces, but it's the wing backs, it's the additional midfielders, plus the center backs. Like we still have Xerxes and Mount if Mount can stay 100% healthy. I know we'll have Shaw, but Shaw has to stay 100% healthy. Casemiro, he's going to be limited just due to game time, and especially I think we'll just use him in certain situations or certain games. Just so we can have them fully for those tournaments. Because again, and in the end, this is all speculation because we haven't won Europa. Like, there's nothing guaranteed that we are. So for all we know, we lose Europa. We just get Cunha and Delap, and we just go to the free transfer market, get players in that fit the system, that can play, and then we just focus on the Premier League and the domestic tournaments. I'm okay with that. Just leave that be. Like, we can't predict the future. We don't know what's going to happen. So it could go either one way or the other. There's no in between. So it's I know it's reliant on the final, which sucks, but I know we're going to have to raise funds by selling players and developing. That's basically it. So yeah, more and more, we'll just wait and see. Like I said, we're talking about it today. For all we know, tomorrow, everything changes. All the players that I mentioned are no longer on the radar as well. So, and listen, I'm happy Ruben's saying that Bruno is staying. He wants him to stay. I want him to stay. The question is, what does Bruno want? I believe Bruno does want to stay. So, listen, he means a lot to this team. He means a lot to this club. It's just the way he interacts, even with what went on with players and those that got let off. And we all know the story with the club and how much Bruno loves to pay back and say thank you to those that are part of it. So, but yeah, we never know what happens with the transfer window. We'll just leave it there. But let me move on to my final segment. This is going to be a combined little rant. But, what isn't a rant when you're giving an opinion? But yeah, let's move on to my final segment. Okay, so this is going to be kind of combined just because what's annoyed me is, listen, news came out today, more cuts from Sir Jim, and there's talks about no free tickets for the Europa final for staff. Like, for fuck's sakes, and apologies for my language, like, for fuck's sakes, like, can we not do anything for anyone that works for this club? Like, last year was the FA Cup, Bruno was willing to do anything. Like, where are we showing loyalty? Like, where are we showing loyalty to, like, it drives me nuts because basically I just saw the owner of PSG just giving offers for his employees to the Champions League final for PSG. Pay it forward. Pay thank you to everyone who's done their job for those that you scared shitless because they're wondering if they're going to have a job next week or tomorrow or in 5 minutes. Like there's like what we've seen so far, and I get it, it's a business and they're treating it as a business, but you are not showing any damn loyalty. And listen, we're in a European final, ladies and gentlemen. We're in a European tournament. You know how big it is for this club? You know how huge it is? Like, and the staff that work there, like, should get an opportunity to get tickets. And I think this ownership should give them the opportunities of that. So, like, it hurts. It really does. And hurting that there's going to be more cuts and more people losing their job, it's tough. It really is. I know they're trying to balance it, but at the same time, too, right now, 2 years in a row, we've been in a final, and 2 years in a row, the new ownership is not doing shit. We're 18 months into the ownership, ladies and gentlemen, and 2 finals, nothing for the employees, like nothing. So, you know what? In the end, it's their decision, but in the end, I don't have to agree with it. So, I'm going to leave it there. That's all I'm going to say. I'm just going to leave it there. That's my opinion. But it does hurt to hear that. It really does. It really does. So we know who Sir Jim has been. We know what's been going on. But yeah, it's not been the great. So yeah, I'm going to leave that there. My next little thing is basically ex-United players who are pundits. Listen, like, criticize all you want. I know you're Manchester United royalty and you've done all this stuff for the club, but let's remember this. It is not your era anymore. This isn't, like, as much as you were a member of this club, like, we need to stop comparing this team to the past, and I think these pundits need to stop doing the same thing. Like, your era of football is no longer around. And like, criticizing Ruben for his decisions and all this stuff, and then talking about next season about doing the same thing. Like, listen, Ruben's come out and said the players are not going to be set for 2 types of competitions next year. It's going to be one or the other. And I know that's rattling some ex-pundits, but ladies and gentlemen, like, sorry to say it, but Sir Alex, I'm pretty sure, would prioritize and rotate and put players in certain positions. I know depth and building is there, and the squad build is going to be tough to try and do it. And like this, I'm saying speculation if we qualify for Champions League. But here we are. Like, I know they're upset that Man United are not in a good spot, but like, being upset that we're prioritizing a European final or European semis, making sure nobody's getting injured. Like, shut up. Like, I know you guys were the beginning of the Premier League and all this stuff and won all that, but at the same time too, just stop. Like, let him run his squad. Let him run it the way he believes is best. And listen, we weren't going to be like, winning more games does not help us in the Premier League. Realistically, let's be honest here. If we finished out the remainder of the Premier League wins, like we beat West Ham, Chelsea, and Aston Villa, great. We still finish, what, 14th, 13th, maybe 15th? Maybe we get lucky the 12th. You're still going to criticize that we sucked. And then if Ruben doesn't do what you want, or he does something different, or he does what you want and we lose out and all this, like, it's the way it is. I think it just grinds my gears a little bit, just criticizing Ruben, criticizing his choices, like criticizing the players, and like us other managers do it. Ladies and gentlemen, stop with this big club. Like, okay, I know we're a big club. I'm sorry. But realistically here, like, us trying to win a major tournament, to get into Champions League, to win a European competition, to win a trophy. By the way, it's our 4th final in 3 seasons, ladies and gentlemen, and out of all competitions. We won the EFL in Ten Hag's first season, It went to the FA Cup final that same season and lost to Man City, winning the FA Cup last year, and then now we're in a European final. It's a competition, ladies and gentlemen, and to those saying that we should not be going to the Champions League by winning, it's a European competition, ladies and gentlemen. This isn't the Premier League. Don't be like, what? Yes, we're going to have 6 teams in Champions League next year. Those are the rules. It's not ran by the FA. It's not ran by the Football Association in England. It's UEFA. UEFA set the rules. You're upset by what? What's there to criticize? We're winning. We have a chance to win a European competition. And yes, we get to go there. Your prize should not be getting re-entered in the same tournament. Stop that stupid stuff. What you do in a tournament and what you're doing in your league should not reflect each other. Just stop. Just stop. It annoys me. It does. They're in a chance for a trophy, and your job is to ridicule them because they're prioritizing a European trophy and not your league, which, by the way, you're going to ridicule them anyways because they're not doing what you want. And because they're not doing what you would have done. Guess what? A lot of people aren't going to do what Roy Keane, Paul Scholes, what Gary Neville is going to do, what Michael Owens, Owen Hargraves, Nanny, Eric Cantona, anyone who's criticized or said whatever. We're not going to do what they're recommending to do. Even Wayne Rooney. It's stupid. And yes, I'm calling that out because those are usually the players. Even Rio gives points out sometimes that, just contradicts. We're trying to win a trophy here. You want us to go 100% where, no offense, it really doesn't matter where we finish now because we're not getting into Europe through Premier League, but we are going to have a chance to get back into Europe as well as win a trophy. So live with that. And Arsene Wenger and those people criticizing that Tottenham or us, depending on if we win the Europa, that we shouldn't be back next year, that we should be re-entering the same tournament, stop it. They're rewarding us for winning a tournament. Should we be going back into the FA? Should we even be going into Europe by winning our FA domestic trophy? No. Do you think winning the EFL should allow you to go into a domestic? No, it should. That's the stupidity of it. It's a reward for being the best in your competition and winning it. So yes, championship berth. I don't care about the standings. You can hate on it all you want. It's been a tough year for Manchester United. Things did not work out well. We're in transition of a manager. At least all the managers have been honest about how things have been going. Ruben has been honest about it. I know he's stressed about the European final. I hope everything goes well and we win. I hope. But even Ten Hag had his criticisms. He was honest. So I think right now we have to build and get this team going to succeed. And I hope we get back in the Champions League. And you know what I hope? This is what I'm hoping for. I'm going to say it here, and you can take this as a damn hot take. I do not care. I hope we win the Europa final. I hope we are back in Champions League. I hope we finish, let's say, top 8 next season. And I hope we win the fucking Champions League. That's what I'm saying here. That's what I'm saying. That's my response to all those pundits and criticizing whatever. I hope we win the whole damn thing. I do. I really do. I hope we win the whole fucking thing. It'd be great if we can win a treble next year. That would be magical and wonderful. I hope we win a treble. I know next season is going to be better. I hope, because we have Ruben with a full season, his system, getting his players in, getting everything going, making sure everyone's healthy. But with them saying, no, you should not be entered into the Champions League, I hope we finish top 8 next year, and I hope we win the whole Champions League. I just feel like that would be the moment where we're now being criticized by ex-pundits, by managers who are criticizing us because of the way we played in the league this year, and now we're in this tournament final. And this is me, like, and I'm not saying, like, you know what, even if Tottenham were to beat us, let's just say I hope, and I know many people don't want me hearing say, yes, I hope Tottenham win a trophy or whatever. But you know what? Just for sake for both of our clubs, let's say Tottenham do win. I hope they go and win the Champions League next year just to shut up everyone. Like, imagine that. They finish what I would want for Manchester United and they do the whole thing. Because what would Arsene Wenger and all those pundits say then? Well, you had a terrible season last year. Well, if we don't win the trophy, we're not in the Champions League, and now we just won the Champions League. You're going to criticize us now. We're champions of Europe. Our team, yes, struggled in Premier League, but guess what? The Premier League is now, the talent is improved. The teams have improved. Let's take a look here. Like City, Arsenal, Liverpool, Newcastle, Aston Villa, Chelsea, they're all going to be in those spots next year potentially. Nottingham Forest will be there as well. Brentford, Crystal Palace, Brighton, Bournemouth, they're all there as well. They're improving. And you know, Tottenham's going to be back next season, and we're hoping to be back. Like the top 10 is going to be very tough. Even trying to get into Europe, whether it's 8th, 7th, 6th. And again, the only reason why there's 5 teams going is because, well, Arsenal went deep. We got the coefficient. We got that there. So, like, I'm sorry, but it's the way things worked out. It's the way the rules that UEFA set up. Like, be upset all you want about Manchester United and Tottenham finishing the spots that they are. They struggled this season, whether it's through injuries, managers, players. Like, it is what it is. But listen, like I said, with the comments that they've made about saying that you should just go back into Europa, you shouldn't go to the Champions League because, you know, your league and whatever, you know what I just say? I hope Man United would win the Europa, and then I just say we go off and just win the Champions League next year. Because then, what do you say then? Like, you're going to go back on your words and be like, well, you know, it's great that they were able to prove what they could do, but again, you didn't want them in the Champions League. You didn't, like, realistically, you didn't, like, if us or Tottenham, let's say hypothetically, one of us is going to win Europa, but why don't we win the Champions League because of what we did this year in Europa? What if? What if we're there? And then you're going to look back a year later and you're like, tournaments are separate from the leagues. They're a separate embodiment. I do not care if your feelings are hurt that there's now 6 English teams in the Champions League and one got in through a tournament. And the only reason why, again, we got 6 is because of Arsenal. Like, or 5th, like, we won. That's the rules. It's there. So I'm leaving it there. That's it for my rant. For real. Again, I hope we win Europa, and I hope we finish top 8 next season, and I hope that resolves in us winning the Champions League. Throw in the FA Cup too. Let's get a double next year. I would love a treble too. Hey, but let's do it. A year ago, we were in the FA Cup final and we won. And we are now in Europa League final because we had to win that trophy last year to get into Europe, and we did. So we're using the tools against us. We weren't going to win the league, but we found other ways in other competitions, and sometimes maybe you have to prioritize those competitions over your league. So yeah, I'm leaving that there. That's the end of my that's it. So that's it for today's episode of the podcast. That's how I'm leaving it. We have a game in 8 hours, 8.5 hours my time. So this will probably be released just before, so not many people are going to be watching it or listening to it, but hopefully you get a shot at it. But just to recap my lineup: Onana, Fredrickson, Lindelof, Shaw is my back three, Ahmad, Ugarte, Mainu, Amas, Eriksson, and Mount, and Obi as well. So that's my starting lineup. So I hope you enjoy the game today. I hope you enjoy the remainder of your Sunday, your weekend. Some of you, it might still be Saturday. Some of you, it's very early Sunday, like myself, doing this episode of the podcast. But have a great night, or have a great Sunday. Enjoy the rest of your night, depending on where you are in the world. Good morning, depending on where you are today at this moment. So, again, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Let's just leave it there. This is the Red Devils Corner Kick podcast. Glory, glory, Man United.